Tensions escalating in the Middle East after the killing of Hamas's political leader Ismail Haniyeh. In the latest, Iran has issued a notice to airmen after threatening Israel of a direct attack. In fact, a no-fly zone has been imposed over Tehran. We get to all the details in this next report. Take a look.
The killing of Hamas's political leader has raised tensions yet again. Reportedly, Iran has imposed no-fly zone over Tehran and issued NOTAMs, an official notification to alert pilots about potential hazards. This after Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei ordered a direct strike on Israel in response to the killing of Hamas Chief Ismail Haniyeh. Despite no one had immediately claimed responsibility, suspicion fell on Israel that vowed to kill Haniyeh and other Hamas leaders over the October 7 attack. Meanwhile, Israel has strongly defended its actions against Lebanon-based Hezbollah.
Yesterday, Israel carried out a precise strike against Hezbollah commander Fuad Shukr, a senior terrorist with the blood of Israelis and many others on his hands. He was the commander responsible for the Majd al-Shams massacre, along with all of Hezbollah's incessant missile attacks against Israel for the past 9.5 months. These attacks involved more than 6,500 rockets, hundreds of UAVs, and over 1,000 anti-tank missiles, killing dozens of Israeli soldiers and civilians, and forcing over 80,000 Israelis to evacuate their homes from the north of Israel.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu issued his first public statement post the attack, but did not mention the killing.
בימים האחרונים הנחתנו מכות מחץ על כל אחת מהן. לפני 3 שבועות תקפנו את רמטכ"ל חמאס, מוחמד דף. לפני שבועיים תקפנו את החות'ים באחת ההתקפות הרחוקות ביותר של חיל האוויר. ואתמול תקפנו את רמטכ"ל חיזבאללה, פואד שוקר.
Haniyeh's killing comes at a precarious time. US President Joe Biden's administration tried to push Hamas and Israel to agree to a temporary ceasefire, and hostage release deal has now distanced itself from the killing.
The U.S. was not involved in the planning of the attack, and this was an action taken by the IDF based on Israeli intelligence. We were not involved in this mission or operation, and certainly I'm not going to get into specific private diplomatic discussions. What I can say is that our priority region-wide continues to be promoting diplomatic solutions for a more peaceful and secure region.
According to Pentagon, Israel could face an airstrike in the next 72 hours. Amid the growing tension, India has asked its citizens to avoid traveling to Lebanon. With the Iranian Supreme Leader vowing revenge on Israel, has risked significant escalation in the crisis in the Middle East.
So getting you all these top updates coming in, and I just want to go across to Yeshaya Rosenman, senior journalist joining us live from Jerusalem. Thank you for joining us. It is getting very, very intense what is happening here. 2 Hamas leaders have been killed back-to-back in 24 hours. Iran has vowed retaliatory measures. Where is this going? How are you reading the latest developments coming in?
Yes, so just a small correction. Mohammad Deif the attack was on July 13th. It was just confirmed today that he was indeed killed in the attack. Where is this going? So this basically means Mohammad Deif was the symbol. If there was any single symbol of the Hamas fighting power, it was him. He was, as Prime Minister Netanyahu called him, the chief of staff. Defense Minister Yoav Gallant called him the Bin Laden of Gaza. He was the founder of their military wing, of the Izzadin al-Qassam brigades, along with Salah Shehadeh and Yahya Ayash, who had both been assassinated by Israel years ago. This was the 8th attempt to kill Mohammad Deif, and was finally successful in the 8th time. Where is this going from here? The simple answer is that Hamas has no capabilities to strike back. All these assassinations of Haniyeh and Deif and Rafah Salama and other people have taken place with no significant response from Hamas, no missile attacks, no ongoing escalation in onslaughts in Gaza, simply because most of their fighting power has been decimated, and they are on the defense now in a war in Gaza that has largely come to a standstill. The question is, what will happen in the other arenas, primarily being controlled by Hamas's patrons and enablers, Iran. So that could be either direct response from Iran missiles shot from Iran, like was shot a few months ago, or from Hezbollah, which commands a large arsenal in Lebanon.
Right. Also, it really, like we were speaking about this, Yashaya, where we are seeing that is the Israel war, on Gaza is getting quite intense right now. Now, we would like to see how will the other countries react. There's a fear of escalation. You would agree there's a fear of escalation. A lot of countries, in fact, they're saying there should be reconciliation, there should be a ceasefire deal, there should be both parties should close this. Do you see things improving from now? This is definitely an escalation.
Yes, it's an escalation in the fact that we have eliminated a symbol of Hamas, the central symbol of Hamas. But the fighting in Gaza itself is largely come to a standstill. Israel is waiting to finish off the final battalions of Hamas, most probably waiting until after the elections in the United States, when Prime Minister Netanyahu believes Donald Trump will be elected, and we will have more favorable government there that will allow us more freedom to operate, to receive arms, and to have a more favorable final outcome in Gaza. The escalation that you were talking about would be in the other arenas, most probably on the Lebanese border, where Hezbollah has a tremendous missile arsenal, and there would most probably be a ground war, the outcome of which would be unclear, whether Israel would want to control South Lebanon again, as we had in the 80s and 90s. So the primary escalation we are looking at, and the consensus among commentators, it's not a question of if, but of when, is on the Lebanese border in South Lebanon with Hezbollah, and that could lead to an escalation. What the U.S. President was talking about, escalation, was most probably meant Israel bombing Beirut, the Dahya quarter, where Hezbollah leadership lives, and things like that. That was the assassination that we saw in Beirut. So the primary escalation we're looking at now is in Lebanon, would be in Lebanon, on the Lebanese border, South Lebanon, or in Beirut, or missiles coming from Iran.
Well, Israel Prime Minister Yashaya, he has not directly confirmed Israel's involvement in Haniyeh's assassination. Would we expect Netanyahu to speak on this directly, on this issue, anytime soon?
No, I don't think so. I think it's deliberate because the attack took place on Iranian soil. So he wants to. It's understood that we did it. None of the Iranian opposition militias have missiles that they can rain down on a house, on a building in Iran. So it's quite obvious that we did it. But the prime minister is deliberately not making any statement on it. That's not going to change soon.
All right, thank you, Yashaya Rosenman, a senior journalist live from Jerusalem, for joining us. Viewers, getting you back-to-back, a big global updates coming in. We are seeing that the Hamas military chief has been eliminated, killed 24 hours before we got to the news that one more Hamas leader, Khamenei, has also been killed.